Welcome back to my 100% playthrough of Dragon Age Origins. So, here we are just finishing off the Stone Prisoner DLC. Let us get out of the town. So, a few things I want to get done today. Mostly I want to get started on our next main quest I plan on doing. Let us visit the party camp first.
I don't understand. You look like a woman.
I am a woman.
You are a Grey Warden, so it follows that you can't be a woman.
Grey Wardens can't be women?
Women are priests, artisans, shopkeepers, or farmers. They don't fight.
That's not a very comprehensive list.
The laborers, soldiers, and Ashkari are men. There is nothing else left.
That's not a universal truth. Some women fight.
Why would women ever wish to be men? That makes no sense.
They don't wish to be men. They wish to be women who fight.
Do they also wish to live on the moon? That's as attainable.
I'm a woman and I'm fighting.
One of those things can't be true. A person is born, Gunari or human or elven or dwarf. He doesn't choose that. The size of his hands, whether he is clever or foolish, the land he comes from, the color of his hair, these are beyond his control. We do not choose, we simply are.
But a person can choose what to do.
Can they? We'll see.
Okay, that conversation did not go well. Okay, I was just checking these gifts here. These two here in particular to see if they were anything special. They are just generic gifts you can give to anyone. So we will give them to... we'll give one to Shale.
Very nice.
And we'll give one to Morrigan.
A fine gift.
Okay,
You have my
this
thanks.
Silver Frame Still Life, I believe that's for Sten. Give him
Unexpected.
that. Yep.
Thank you.
These two we don't have the companion who likes those yet. But minus strength with Sten, that's cool. And this last one here, the Remarkable Greenstone, that is actually a gift for Shale. He likes remarkable gems.
Ooh, shiny.
Oh, +9. Sweet. Okay, so let's get going on the next main quest I'm going to do. I've decided this time I'm going to leave Alistair behind and I'm actually going to take Shale with me. There is a good reason to either take Shale or the dog. I mean, you can bring both if you want, but you don't really need to. Aside from that, we'll take those two.
Indeed.
I would like it if Zevran actually...
Blood and damnation.
I'm wondering if Zevran...
Pigeon crab.
Pigeon crap.
Yes.
Anyway,
Indeed. Of
I'm
all
wondering if
the-
Zevran will level up and I'll be able to give him some lockpicking
Yes.
skills. Let us go to the Brazilian outskirts.
Hold, outsider. You may be of my kind, but you are not Dalish. Why are you here?
I have business with your leader, actually.
And what business is that?
I will tell that to the Keeper and no one else.
Seeing as you are obviously no simple trespasser, I will leave it to the Keeper to decide the importance of your business. In the camp, I suggest you keep your hands to yourself, and remember that our arrows are still trained on you. Follow me.
This interaction, of course, goes very differently if you are a Dalish elf.
I see we have guests.
Lovely. It's a whole colony.
Who are these strangers, Mithra? I have precious little patience and less time to spend on outsiders today.
I understand, but this one claims to have important business with our people.
I see. Tell me, stranger, what business could you possibly have with us? We have our own issues we must deal with, as you can see.
I come representing the Grey Wardens.
You might have simply said so to begin with. Masirinus, Mithra. You may return to your post.
Manuvinen, Keeper.
Now, allow me to introduce myself. I am Zathrian, the keeper of this clan, its guide and preserver of our ancient lore. And you are?
My name is Melody. A pleasure to meet you.
If you came to bring news of the Blight in the south, it is not needed. I had already sensed its corruption. I would have taken the clan north by now, had we the ability to move. Sadly, as you can see, we do not. I imagine you are here regarding the treaty we signed centuries ago. Unfortunately, we may not be able to live up to the promise we made. This will require some explanation. Please, follow me. The clan came to the Brazilian forest 1 month ago, as is our custom when we enter this part of Ferelden. We are always wary of the dangers in the forest, but we did not expect the werewolves would be lying in wait for us. They ambushed us, and though we drove the beasts back, much damage was done. Many of our warriors lie dying as we speak. Even with all our magic and healing skill, we will eventually be forced to slay our brethren to prevent them from becoming beasts. The Blight's evil must be stopped, but we are in no position to uphold our obligations. I am truly sorry.
Is there no way to help your men?
The affliction is a curse that runs rampant in their blood, bringing great agony and then ultimately either death or a transformation into something monstrous. The only thing that could help them must come from the source of the curse itself. And that would be no trivial task to retrieve.
I'm good at non-trivial tasks.
Within the Brazilian forest dwells a great wolf. We call him Witherfang. It was within him that the curse originated, and through his blood that it has been spread. If he is killed and his heart brought to me, perhaps I could destroy the curse. But this task has proven too dangerous for us. I sent some hunters into the forest a week ago, but they have not returned. I cannot risk any more of my clan.
I will find this Witherfang for you.
I must warn you that more than werewolves lurk in the Brazilian forest. It has a history full of carnage and murder, you see. Where there is so much death, the veil separating the spirit realm from our own becomes thin, allowing spirits to possess things, living or dead. But if you can indeed help, then I wish you luck.
I should go.
I must return to caring for my people. Creator's speed on your way.
Okay, here we go. The Dalish camp. New codex updated. That's got a couple actually. Witherfang is, according to the Keeper Zathrian, a wolf. He is no ordinary wolf, however. He is a wolf possessed by a powerful spirit and the source of the werewolf curse that plagues the Brazilian forest. While Witherfang is hundreds of years old and very powerful in his own right, the only way to end his curse is to cut out his heart and bring it to Zathrian. Shale. We got this in the last episode, I haven't read it though. What can I say of a heart of stone? The golems of Orzammar once made up the vanguard of the dwarven army, holding back the tides of darkspawn that flooded out of the deep roads. But the art of making them was lost, and many of them succumbed to wear and damage in battle. Shale has no memories either of the time spent fighting in the deep roads, or of coming to Honelith. Only a few spotty and bitter recollections of his last master. Melody unearthed Shale's control rod and awakened it, adding a bitter, malfunctional golem to the menagerie of companions. Keeper Zathrian. Even with all our magic and skill, we only delay the inevitable. It is said the elves lived in Ferelden long before any others set foot there, and though most of their knowledge has been lost, it falls to the keeper of each clan to preserve what they have. Zathrian is an old, severe elf with little love for outsiders, but his clan is facing a more trying enemy than most. Awesome. We've got a couple of quests there, that's fine. There's quite a lot to do in here, and there's going to be a lot of codex entries in this episode, that's for sure, because the elves have their own pantheon of gods, and I think we get a lot of codex entries for them in this part of the woods. Before we go any further, let us level up Zevran. Okay, so if we boost his cunning, he's got a lot of dexterity. Boost his cunning. Next. Assassin, we can get the first level of that. Still not nearly as good as Liliana, but it should help. Okay. So, let us start with these two here. Soleil's the Hearthkeeper. Soleil's the Hearthkeeper is seen as the sister of Anduril the Huntress. While Anduril loved to run with the creatures of the wild, Soleil's preferred to stay by her home tree, occupying herself with gentle arts and song. It is Soleil's who gives us fire and taught us how to use it. It is Soleil's who showed us how to heal with herbs and with magic, and how to ease the passage of infants into this world. And again, it is Soleil's who showed us how to spin the fibres of plants into thread and rope. We owe much to Soleil's, and that is why we sing to her when we kindle the fires, when we put them out. That is why we sprinkle our aravals with Soleil's fragrant tree moss, and ask that she protect them and all within, as told by Gesharil, keeper of the Ralafarin clan of the Dalish elves. Oh, we got a second one, I think. Let's see what it is. Oh, it was this one here. Andruil, goddess of the hunt. Hear me, sons and daughters of the people. I am sister of the moon, mother of hares, lady of the hunt, Andruil. Remember my teachings. Remember the Var Tandal, the way of 3 trees that I have given you. Ver Asin, the way of the arrow. Be swift and silent. Strike true, do not waver, and do not let your prey suffer. That is my way. Ver Borasin, the way of the bow. As the sapling bends, so must you. In yielding, find resilience. In pliancy, find strength. That is my way. Ver Andalin, the way of the wood. Receive the gifts of the hunt with mindfulness. Respect the sacrifice of my children. Know that your passing shall nourish them in turn. That is my way. Remember the ways of the hunter, and I shall be with you. From a charge of Andruil, goddess of the hunt. There we go. Let's go talk to Varathorn here.
What are you doing? You've warped the wood completely. Did you leave it out in the rain?
No, Master Varathorn. I think I just used too much heat.
You're not smelting ore like a Durgenlin. This is living wood. It requires patience and delicate hands, not more heat.
My actions bring me sorrow, Master Varathorn.
And so they should. Truly the art will be lost to us forever at this rate. Throw away your dead wood and start anew, and I shall speak to our guest. Now then, please forgive my distraction, stranger. Is there something that you need?
I would like to barter with you.
I am no merchant, but let us trade. Perhaps there's something here which will be of value to you.
Huh, interesting. I actually thought Varathorn wouldn't trade with you until you'd done a few quests for the Dalish. Okay, that's cool. He does have manual shapeshifter. That's one way to unlock the shapeshifter specialization. I think we've already unlocked it because it's quite easy just by talking to Morrigan for a little bit. It's also a silver bridge. I'm going to buy that. I think that's a gift for Morrigan. Okay, that will do for now.
What do you wish?
What exactly do you make here?
I'm the clan's craftsmaster. It's my responsibility to learn what I can of the ancient elven arts of shaping wood and ore. In truth, we Dalish know little of the art compared to what we once did. And even what we know has taken us many lifetimes to achieve. There is wood that, if treated properly, is as hard as steel but far lighter. It grows only in this forest. Ironbark. The keeper has forbidden us from entering the forest to collect the wood. This means I cannot make our finest crafts for years to come.
What if I found some ironbark for you?
I would be hesitant to ask it of you, but if you should come across ironbark, I suppose there would be no harm in gathering some. It is blue and very distinctive. You can only harvest the bark which has fallen off the tree from age. Now, if you find some, bring it to me, and I will craft it for you.
Very well. I'll take a look when I'm in the forest.
That would please me, so long as our hunters come first.
I should go.
Dareth Shiro, may the creators visit fortune upon you.
Cool. Quest rare ironbark. I should mention Varathorn is actually a really good merchant for anyone who does a lot of crafting, because, well, he has a lot of recipes that you can pick up, but he has unlimited amounts of elfroot, toxin extract, and deathroot, all very useful in crafting a lot of different things. Cool. This Athras?
I greet you, stranger. It is good to see another elf, even if you are not one of the wandering clans. I trust my people have not been too harsh in their treatment of you.
Everyone has been quite accommodating.
We welcome our brethren. even if they have forgotten the old ways. That is our charge, after all, to keep the old lore alive until we can bring it back for all. I understand you will search for the wolves in the Brazilian forest. I would join you, but Zathrian has forbidden me.
You do not seem very happy about that.
None of us are happy about this situation, and I least of all. But I shouldn't trouble you with this. You have your own concerns, I am certain.
Swade, I'd like to hear about it.
Well, perhaps you could help me with it. I would certainly appreciate anything you could do. My wife Dalish and I both fought the werewolves in the ambush. She was injured so gravely, the curse spread rapidly in her. Zathrian fought hard to ease her pain, but there was little he could do. And though he says that Dalish is dead, he will not let me see her body. I am beginning to believe she became a werewolf, and that it is being kept from me so I do not go chasing after her.
And if she was a werewolf, and the elf chased her and then found her, what then? Sweet, blissful reunion?
I don't know. Maybe she would know me as her love, even still?
More likely she would love to eat you.
If I could just know if Dalish is alive, or what happened to her, then I could be at peace.
Well, Shale is nothing but a realist, apparently. I will seek her out in the forest.
I have an amulet made by our craftsman. It's not much, but I would be happy to give it to you in return for any news.
Oh, there we go. Lost to the curse. We'll do that as well. Valislan, blood writing. When the children of a people come of age, they earn the privilege of wearing the Valisan, the blood writing. It sets us apart from the Shemelin and from the elves who have thrown their lot in with them. It reminds us that we will never again surrender our traditions and beliefs. The ritual deserves great reverence. The one who is to gain the Valislan must prepare by meditating on the gods and the ways of our people, and by purifying the blood and the skin. When the time comes, the keeper of the clan applies the blood writing. This is done in complete silence. Cries of pain are signs of weakness. If one cannot tolerate the pain of the blood writing, they are not ready to undertake the responsibilities of an adult. The keeper may stop the ritual if they decide the one gaining the Valislan is not ready. There is no shame in this, for all children are different, and our ancestors once took centuries to come of age. As told by Gasharl, keeper of the relevant clan of the Dalish elves. Yes, so the Valislan, the blood writing, is what you see on the faces of the Dalish elves. June, god of the craft. We dedicate all our people to June, for it is he who taught the people to bend the branches of trees and make our bows, and to fashion coverings of furs and ironbark. Without June, would we have the Aravel, or the harness for a hala? When the people were young, we wandered the forest without purpose. We drank from streams and ate the berries and nuts that we could find. We did not hunt, for we had no bows. We wore nothing, for we had no knowledge of spinning or needlecraft. We shivered in the cold nights and went hungry through the winters. And when all the world was covered in ice and snow. Then Soleil the Hearthkeeper came and gave us fire and taught us how to feed it with wood. June taught us how to fashion bows and arrows and knives, so we could hunt. We learned to cook the flesh of the creatures we hunted over Soleil's fire, and we learned to clothe ourselves in the furs and skins, and the people were no longer cold and hungry, as told by Gasharl, keeper of the Reliferan clan of the Dalish elves. Cool. I do at least appreciate these entries about the gods are quite short. I was worried they would be a lot longer. There's the landmark tent if you've got the Mabari, by the way. Oh, why is hold on? Anyway, glad I found that out before we went to the forest. Alright. Jumping over to my Dalish elf character now, I'll just show you how the interactions in camp go a little differently if you yourself are a Dalish elf. So let's head to the Brazilian outskirts.
Andara Natishan, my friend. You have come a long way. I give you the welcome of our clan. These are curious companions you have. Might I ask the purpose of your visit?
You can already see they're a lot friendlier to us as a Dalish. I seek the clan's hospitality.
We cannot offer you the hospitality you deserve, I'm afraid.
Then I must speak with your keeper right away.
As you wish. Ask your companions to remain close. We are unused to outsiders.
I see we have a guest. And one of our own, no less.
This one comes from one of our sister clans to the north, Keeper.
You travel with a curious assortment of companions, I see. Tell me, what business might you have with us? As you see, we have our own issues to deal with.
I come representing the Grey Wardens.
You might have simply said so to begin with. Masiranus Mithra, you may return to your post.
Manuvinen, Keeper.
Now, perhaps we might introduce ourselves. I am Zathrian, Keeper and Haran of this clan. You are?
My name is Lina. A pleasure to meet you.
If you came to bring news of the Blight in the south, it is not needed. I had already sensed its corruption. I would have taken the clan north by now, had we the ability to move. Sadly, as you can see, we do not.
Yes, it seems like you've had your own troubles. What are the odds?
So their first reaction to trouble is to flee from it. Curious.
Do not allow our troubles to burden you, though I suspect they may impact your mission. I imagine you are here regarding the treaty we signed centuries ago. Unfortunately, we may not be able to live up to the promise we made. This will require some explanation. Please, follow me.
So from
They
here, the conversation with
ambushed
Zathrian
us.
basically goes the same as it
Though we
does
drove
with any
the
other
beasts
character.
back, much damage was done.
I'll go around, talk to some of the other people just to show you that it's not just Zathrian's dialogue that changes. Basically, everyone treats you differently as a Dalish yourself. I won't show you all of the conversations, but we'll certainly show you some of them, just so you can get a sense of the differences.
And Darren Atishan, friend. It has been some years since I met Master Island at the last gathering. He is still hale, I hope.
Master Island was one of the elves in our origin story at our own clan's camp. So it's interesting that Varathorn here mentions him. He was fine when I last saw him, yes.
That is good to hear. Your clan is more familiar to us than most, since we do not stray far from each other in this land. I met your father, for he was once keeper of your clan. You carry many of his features. He spoke at a gathering, telling the clans that more of us need to voyage into the Shemlin world and learn their ways. He would be proud to see his daughter a Grey Warden, I think.
Thank you, that's kind of you to say.
Our people speak so little of the dead, especially those who end in tragedy. I thought you should know, regardless.
I should go.
Dareth Shiro, may the creators visit fortune upon you.
Yeah, so quite a lot of unique dialogue there with Varathorn if you are a Dalish elf. Let's go see who else has something to say. Oh, don't do that. We'll talk to Linnea.
Underan Atishan Lethalon. My name is Linnea, Zathrian's first. I hear your clan has moved on to the north, and that you're now one of the Grey Wardens. Allow me to congratulate you for stepping into a world that few of our people even dream of. I wish I could do the same.
Thank you. It has been an interesting adventure.
I must admit, I am a bit jealous. I have too many duties to my clan to do more than dream of such travels. Perhaps, since you have traveled in the outside world yourself, might I ask you a question or two?
This is more unique dialogue only for a Dalish elf. For a fellow Dalish, anything.
I hear the human cities are very large, thousands upon thousands of souls all packed together in their houses. Is that true?
In some places, they can't imagine how we live either.
I never thought of it like that. They truly couldn't imagine this kind of freedom? How odd. I try to imagine those of our people living in such a place, surrounded by walls of stone and indifference. It is a difficult thought.
It isn't an easy life for them, that's true.
Why do they stay, do you think? These elves who live with the humans.
It's their home. Why wouldn't they stay where they live?
I had not thought of that. They must take joy in the home they have now, though they may not remember the homeland we once had. It is said that one day we will have a land of our own. We Dalish gather the ancient wisdom in preparation for this. When that day comes, all elves, even those who have forgotten, will reclaim their former glory. I have one more question, though I'm not sure you can answer it. Do the humans ever regret what they did to us?
I think some of them do. Not all humans are the same.
And yet, even if some regret, they do nothing. A poet once wrote of them before the fall of the Dales. Like dragons they fly, glory upon wings. Like dragons, they savage, fearsome, pretty things. But you don't need me to quote poetry to you. Forgive me. Perhaps you have some questions of your own.
Yes, so I just thought I would showcase some of the unique dialogue you do get if you come to the camp as a Dalish elf yourself. It's quite interesting, and one of the strong points, of course, of Dragon Age Origins. One of the strong points of Dragon Age Origins really is this attention to detail. The fact that your different origin stories do give you different dialogue based on your character's life experiences, and race and all that sort of thing. But for now, that's all I wanted to showcase with this character, so we'll swap back over to my main playthrough. I do think Sorrel here.
We few wanderers greet you, friend. We do not see many of our city brethren here in the woods. Would you help us break our fast?
I would like that.
Come then and sit. Join us by the fire. I am Cyril, the clan's tale-teller. I understand you are venturing into the haunted forest to save our hunters. I suspect your efforts may be in vain. An entire group of our hunters went into the forest to do as you intend, and they have not returned.
The Keeper mentioned that.
Then you are very brave to adventure into such a place, even knowing the danger that awaits. Your courage impresses us greatly.
I must deal with the Blight. If I can help you, I will.
Nothing will help us now. Least of all the meddling of an outsider.
You are being most unkind, Cyril. Would you refuse our hunters' help simply because of the hand that offered it?
You shame me, Lethalan. I have allowed my bitterness to cloud my better judgment. Forgive me, Grey Warden. It is most difficult to forget the lessons the Shemlin have taught us.
It is even more difficult when you live amongst them, trust me.
Perhaps I can yet make amends. Stay while I spin a tale for our children. And then I will tell you of the forest if you desire.
Yes, I'd like that.
Come and join us then, all of you.
Bah, the elf wants to tell stories. Do we truly have time for such drivel?
I imagine an ancient being such as yourself would have many stories to tell, hmm?
Indeed. I have 30 years' worth of tales involving pastoral village life and being defecated on by pigeons. Riveting stuff.
And far more than that, I suspect. Now, what say we tell the story of the fall of the Dales? Which of you children knows that best?
I think I do.
Yes? Then come, child. Oh, don't be frightened of the outsiders. Now, where do you suppose such a tale should begin?
When we were slaves?
Yes. Long ago, our people were slaves to an empire the Shemlin had built on the darkest magic. They took away our history and our language and left us nothing. And then that empire fell. We were freed.
Because Andraste came with her army, and Shartan joined her.
Yes. Andraste, the Shemlin prophet, came out of the south and challenged the Tevinter Imperium. Our ancestor, Shartan, fought at her side. And when the rebellion came to an end, we were given a new homeland in the west, the Dales. We began to rebuild the culture and history we had lost in our years of slavery. We worshipped the creators and made the Dales our home. Perhaps you know what happened next, stranger. Do you know what happened to the Dales?
You were invaded by the humans.
Indeed. They resented that we would not worship their maker, and they resented our ways because they were so different from their own. The Shemlin nations grew cold towards the Dales. They called us blasphemers and tyrants, and declared war upon us. A great crusade.
It's a war we started, I'm told.
Told by whom? A history that has been dictated by the victors, no doubt. Oh, I am certain we played a part in our downfall. We believed that the Shemlin would not revoke their prophet's gift so lightly. We were wrong. They took our lands, forcing us to abandon our gods and live as beggars in Shemlin cities. But there were those of us who refused to abandon our ways. They emblazoned the symbols of the creators upon their flesh and vowed to keep their ancient law alive.
That's us. That's the Dalish.
Indeed, child. We chose to wander, homeless, rather than be ruled by the Shemlin. And all our clans wander alone until the day we have a homeland once more.
And we bring the old ways back to our people, because they have forgotten it all.
For we are the Dalish, the keepers of the lost law.
The walkers of the lonely path.
We are the Elvenan, and never again shall we submit. And that is the tale of the Dales, stranger. Thank you for allowing us to tell it to you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it very much.
Perhaps one day you will tell us a tale of your people. A day when you are not guest and stranger, but savior. Now, as I said I would, I can tell you what I know of the Brazilian forest. Do you wish to hear it?
Yes, tell me of the forest.
Our legends say that before the Shemlin came, the Brazilian forest was a place of our ancestors that predated even our oldest homeland. The people of the Imperium came here and gave the forest its name. If they found traces of our ancestors, we cannot say. If they did, those elves were slain or enslaved. We know only that a great many battles were fought here. These trees grow upon the graves of those who fell, Shemlin and elves both.
And?
So much death in one place tore the veil into the beyond. The Shemlin know the beyond as the Fade, the place of dreams and spirits. When the veil is torn, spirits pass into our world freely. The legends say that one great spirit possessed the wolf that became Witherfang, who passed its curse of rage onto men and created werewolves.
This Witherfang still exists today?
So Zathrian insists. He says that Witherfang does not age as the werewolves do. Witherfang is as much spirit as it is beast, and thus it is immortal. Perhaps it cannot even be slain. At the very least, it is old and powerful, much as Zathrian himself.
That's all I need to know.
One last warning. The forest is like a thing alive. It changes as it wills, closing paths behind you and opening up new ones. Too many have become lost within, unable to find their way out. Were I you, I would endeavor not to make the forest my enemy.
Hey. Like screen's annoying. Now this is interesting. We'll look at these codex entries we just received. Now in the base unpatched game, talking to Sorel does not give you 3 codex entries in particular, and I'm not sure if this is the case with my game or not. So give me a second. We'll see what we've got here. The Dales. Many forget that when Holy Andraste called out to the oppressed people to rise up, it was the elves who answered her first. The humblest slaves of the Imperium became her vanguard, and when victory came they were rewarded accordingly. They were given a land in what is now south of Olay, called the Dales. A great exodus of elves undertook the journey to their new home, crossing ocean, desert and mountain. Their city, the first elven city since the fabled Alathan, was called Halam Shiral. A new era had begun for the elves, but the old era wasn't through with them. In their forest city, the elves turned again to begin worship of their silent, ancient gods. They became increasingly isolationist, posting emerald knights who guarded their borders with jealousy, rebuking all efforts at trade or civilized discourse. Dark rumors spread in the lands that bordered the Dales, whispers of humans captured and sacrificed to elven gods. And then came an attack by the elves on the defenseless village of Red Crossing. The Chantry replied with the exalted march of the Dales, and the era of the elven kingdom came to an end. Halam Shiral was utterly destroyed, the elves driven out, scattered, left to survive on goodwill alone. From Ferelden, Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. So that's the Chantry's tale of what happened to the Dales. As you heard from Sorel, the elves tell a very different story. The Brazilian Forest. There are places in the Brazilian Forest where the veil is so thin, the difference between awake and dreaming is next to nothing. In one such place, a woodchopper was born under such unfortunate stars that his mother named him Abelis, which means sorrow, and he lived up to his name. He could keep no apprentices and lost his stock of bows in mishap after mishap, until finally he had nothing. The rest of the clan began to fear that his ill luck would harm them too, and whispered among themselves of casting him out. Abelis heard them and resolved to change his luck, so went into the forest alone to seek a suitable tree from which to make a bow. At last he spied a young robin growing beside the stream. He drew his axe, and the tree cried out in fear, begging to be spared. But Dalish said, "If I do not take your life, mine will surely end." With 2 strokes he felled the tree. From the tree he made the finest 3 bows he had ever crafted. Pleased, Dalish returned to camp and gave his bows to the hunters at once. By nightfall, however, the camp was in an uproar. The hunters had returned with braces of hairs, which, when cut open, revealed only worms and sawdust. The elder said it was a sign that the hunters had robbed some spirit of its host, for it is well known that spirits do not go about the waking world on their own, but inhabit another creature's body. The elder worked a charm to banish the spirit back to the Fade, and the clan went to sleep hungry. The next day the hunters brought back a doe, and again the beast bled sawdust. Now the clan began to fear the spirit would starve them, and wondered what they had done to deserve it. Dalish came forward then and told of the rowan tree. The elder considered for a long time, and declaring that they must replace what Dalish had taken from the spirit, so he sent the hunters to dig up the rowan sapling and bring it living to the camp. There the elder ordered the sapling planted and appealed to the spirit for forgiveness. There was a terrible sound then, as if the whole forest were crying out in protest. Darkness fell upon the camp, though it was just past midday, and when the darkness parted, a rowan grove, every tree bearing the frozen face of a terrified elf, stood where the camp had been. From then on, it was forbidden in every clan to cut living trees in the Brazilian forest. The spirits know nothing of forgiveness. The Rowan Grove, a Dalish tale from Ferelden, Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. Arlathan, Part 1. Before the ages was named or numbered, our people were glorious and eternal and never changing. Like the great oak tree, they were constant in their traditions, strong in their roots and ever reaching for the sky. They felt no need to rush when life was endless. They worshipped their gods for months at a time. Decisions came after decades of debate, and an introduction could last for years. From time to time, our ancestors would drift into centuries-long slumber, but this was not death, for we know they wandered the Fade in the dreams. In those ages, our people called all the land Alvenin, which in the old language means place of our people, and at the centre of the world stood the great city of Arlathan, a place of knowledge and debate, where the best of the ancient elves would go to trade knowledge, greet old friends, and settle disputes that had gone on for millennia. But while our ancestors were caught up in the forever cycle of ages, drifting through life at what we today would consider an intolerable pace, the world outside the lush forests and ancient trees was changing. The humans first arrived from Parvolen to the north. Called Shemlin or Quicklings by the ancients, the humans were pitiful creatures whose lives blinked by in an instant. When they first met the elves, the humans were brash and warlike, quick to anger and quicker to fight, with no patience for the unhurried pace of elven diplomacy. But the humans brought worse things than war with them. Our ancestors proved susceptible to human diseases, and for the first time in history, elves died of natural causes. What's worse, those elves who spent time bartering and negotiating with humans found themselves aging, tainted by the humans' brash and impatient lives. Many believed that the ancient gods had judged them unworthy of their long lives and cast them down among the Quicklings. Our ancestors came to look upon the humans as parasites, which I understand is similar to the way that humans see our people in the cities. The ancient elves immediately moved to close Alvenin off from the humans for fear that this quickening effort would crumble their civilization, the fall of Arlathan, as told by Gisharil, keeper of Ralaferan clan of the Dalish elves. Part 2. You ask what happened to Arlathan? Sadly, we do not know. Even those of us who keep the ancient lore have no record of what truly happened. What we have are accounts of the days before the fall, and a fable of the whims of the gods. The human world was changing even as the elves slept. Clans and tribes gave way to a powerful empire called Devinter, which, and for reasons we do not know, moved to conquer Alvenin. When they breached the great city of Arlathan, our people, fearful of disease and loss of immortality, chose to flee rather than fight. With magic, demons, and even dragons at their behest, the Devinter Imperium marched easily through Arlathan, destroying homes and galleries and amphitheatres that had stood for ages. Our people were corralled as slaves, and human contact quickened their veins until every captured elf turned mortal. The elves called to the ancient gods, but there was no answer. As to why the gods didn't answer, our people left only a legend. They say that Fen-Haral, the dread wolf and lord of tricksters, approached the ancient gods of good and evil and proposed a truce. The gods of good would remove themselves to heaven, and the lords of evil would exile themselves to the abyss, neither group ever again to enter the other's lands. But the gods did not know that Fen-Haral had planned to betray them, and by the time they realized the dread wolf's trickery, they were sealed in their respective realms, never again to interact with the mortal world. It is a fable, to be sure, but those elves who travel the beyond claim that Fen Harel still roams the world of dreams, keeping watch over the gods lest they escape from their prisons. Whatever the case, Alathan had fallen to the very humans our people had once considered mere pests. It is said that the Tevinter Magisters used their great destructive power to force the very ground to swallow Alathan whole, destroying eons of collected knowledge, culture, and art, the whole of elven lore left only to memory. The fall of Alathan, as told by Gesharol, keeper of the Reliferan clan of the Dalish Elves. And finally, I think this is the last one for now, the Dalish Elves. I took the road north from Val Royeaux towards Navarra with a merchant caravan. A scant 2 days past the Orlesian border, we were beset by bandits. They struck without warning from the cover of the trees, hammering our wagons with arrows, killing most of the caravan guards instantly. The few who survived the arrow storm drew their blades and charged into the trees after our attackers. We heard screams muffled by the forest, and then nothing more of those men. After a long silence, the bandits appeared. Elves, covered in tattoos and dressed in hides, they looted all the supplies and valuables they could carry from the merchants and disappeared back into the trees. These, I was informed later, were the Dalish. The wild elves who lurked in the wilderness on the fringes of settled lands, preying upon travellers and isolated farmers. These wild elves have reverted to the worship of their false gods and are rumoured to practice their own form of magic, rejecting all human society. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chartreuse Scholar by Brother Genetivi. Okay, so, yeah, the patch I have to fix some of the bugs has fixed this one as well. Normally, in a normal playthrough, without any patches at all, 3 of the codex entries I just read out are completely unobtainable unless you have the Dalish Elf origin, because they're also found in the, that origin's, origin story, so the Dalish Elves can get them. But, they're inaccessible to other characters normally, although they should have been available by talking to Sorel like we just did. So the 3 that were unavailable, if I can find them, is the Brazilian Forest, Alathan Part 2, only Part 2, you still get Part 1, and the Dalish Elves. All of those would not trigger at this point, despite the fact they should. But I've got the patch, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, now this is the basically second in charge of the clan. If you try to open her chest, then all the elves get very angry with you, so let's not do that right now. You can open it later without consequences, but right now, not a good idea. It's kind of funny, you can hear Shale clomping around in the background. Okay. Elganan, god of vengeance. Long ago, when time itself was young, the only things in existence were the sun and the land. The sun, curious about the land, bowed his head close to her body, and Elganan was born in the place where they touched. The sun and the land loved Elganan greatly, for he was beautiful and clever. As a gift to Elganan, the land brought forth great birds and beasts of sky and forest, and all manner of wonderful green things. Elganan loved his mother's gifts, and praised them highly, and walked amongst them often. The sun, looking down upon the fruitful land, saw the joy that Elganan took in her works, and grew jealous. Out of spite, he shone his face full upon all the creatures of the earth had created, and burned them all to ashes. The land cracked and split from bitterness and pain, and cried salt tears for the loss of all she had wrought. The pool of tears cried for the land became the ocean, and the cracks in her body the first rivers and streams. Elganan was furious at what his father had done, and vowed vengeance. He lifted himself into the sky and wrestled the sun, determined to defeat him. They fought for an eternity, and eventually the sun grew weak, while Elganan's rage was unabated. Eventually Elganan threw the sun down from the sky, and buried him in a deep abyss created by the land's sorrow. With the sun gone, the world was covered in shadow, and all that remained in the sky were the reminders of Elganan's battle with his father, drops of the sun's lifeblood which twinkled and shimmered in the darkness. From the tale of Elganan and the Sun, as told by Gesharol, keeper of the Reliferan clan of the Dalish Elves. Okay. One person we did not talk to earlier, he was Cameron here, so let's talk to him.
Hello?
Hello yourself. Who are you?
I'm Kamen, a hunter apprentice. Though I wish I could become a real hunter.
Why can't you?
I shouldn't be talking about this to an outsider. You wouldn't understand.
Try me. I might surprise you.
I suppose there's no harm in it. It's not like you can help me. I've been an apprentice for too long. To become a true hunter, I must bring back the pelt of the beast I killed myself. A boar or a wolf or something. I wanted to hunt in the forest, but we're forbidden to enter because of the attack. But the real problem is Gaina.
Girl problems, I say.
She's my heart's desire. I have asked for her hand, but she cruelly refuses it. She will not bond with an apprentice, she says, and calls me a child. I am no child. If I was a hunter, I could prove it, but I cannot hunt, and Gaina will never bond with me. I feel so helpless. I shouldn't have brought it up. Just leave me to my misery.
There must be some way to solve your problem.
You think I haven't thought about this? There's nothing I can do.
Perhaps I could talk to Gaina for you.
I suppose you could, but what good would that do? The situation hasn't changed.
I can be pretty persuasive.
Really? I'm willing to try anything.
It can't hurt.
Cyranas. Oh, ma Cyranas. I will pray to the goddess of love that you are successful.
I never thought I'd ever set foot in.
Okay, there are a couple of ways to resolve this quest with Gaina and Kamin here. The easiest way, especially if you have a lot of persuasion like I do, is just go talk to Gaina. I should say, if you want them to end up together, the only ways to do it are to persuade Gaina here, or if you have a wolf pelt in your inventory, you can give one to Kamin and convince him to claim he killed it himself. There are a bunch of other options. You can actually seduce either Gaina or Kamin, depending on if you're male or female. As a female, I could seduce Kamin, which of course breaks them up. Or you could go and talk to each one and convince them that the other hates them, which also breaks them up. We will do the nice thing and the easy thing and just persuade Gaina.
Andarin Atishan, outsider.
You were Gaina correct. Kamin mentioned you.
You spoke to him? What did he say?
He said that you refused to give him your hand.
Oh. I don't expect an outsider to understand our ways, but I just can't bond with Kamin. He's been a hunter apprentice for over 2 years now, and he's yet to slay a proper beast. Each time he's tried, something has gone wrong. Perhaps the creators do not wish us to bond. I cannot bond with an apprentice hunter, can I?
Persuade. If you love him, it doesn't matter what he is, does it?
But what if he never becomes a proper hunter? What will become of our family?
Why does everything depend on him?
You are right. As a woman, I must ensure that he believes in himself. All I've done is make him miserable. I know I cannot be like you, both woman and Grey Warden. But I can be formidable in my own small way, can't I? Masiranas, thank you. You have helped me put this into perspective. I will go and speak to Kamin. Kamin, I have been a fool.
Gaina? What do you mean? Have you changed your mind?
I have. The outsider has helped me to see that I was wrong. I have made you miserable, and I should not have.
But what about my hunt?
I don't care about that. I know you will pass your hunt in time, and we will be happy. Us and our children.
Thank you, Gaina. You've made me a happy man. I feel blessed by the gods today. We are both very grateful for the part you've played in bringing us together.
How marvelous you are. I am so happy.
Here, take this. It's been in my family for a very long time, but I hope it plays some part in your battle against the Darkspawn. It's the very least we could do.
Cool. Codex, the Tales of Aloran. Yeah, I should mention one thing about them. If you do break those two up, the other elves actually like you a little less. They're a little more standoffish with you, even more so than they have been so far. Okay, I don't think Zevran can do this. Let's see. Oh, no, he did it. Okay. Let us get the Codex entry for Fen Haral.
Let's get started.
Fen'Haral, the Dread Wolf. There is precious little we know about Fen'Haral. For what they say, he did not care for our people. Elgar'nan and Mythal created the world as we know it, and Druil taught us the ways of the hunter, Solace and June gave us fire and crafting, but Fen'Haral kept to himself and plotted the betrayal of all the gods. And after the destruction of Alathan, when the gods could no longer hear our prayers, it is said that Fen'Haral spent centuries in a far corner of the earth, giggling madly and hugging himself in glee. The legends say that before the fall of Alathan, the gods we know and revere fought an endless war with others of their kind. There is not a Haran among us who remembers these others. Only in dreams do we hear whispered the names of Galdoran and Durnethil and Anaris, for they are the Forgotten Ones, the gods of terror and malice, spite and pestilence. In ancient times, only Fen'Haral could walk without fear among both our gods and the Forgotten Ones. For although he is kin to the gods of the people, the Forgotten Ones knew of his cunning ways, and saw him as one of their own. And that is how Fen'Haral tricked them. Our gods saw him as brother, and they trusted him, when he said that they must keep to the heavens while he arranged a truce. And the Forgotten Ones trusted him also, when he said he would arrange for the defeat of our gods if only the Forgotten Ones would return to the Abyss for a time. They trusted Fen'Haral, and they were all of them betrayed. And Fen'Haral sealed them away, so they could never again walk among the people. From the tales of Fen'Haral's triumph, as told by Gisharil, keeper of the Ralaferan clan of the Dalish Elves. Fen'Haral, by the way, is a major player in some of the later installments in Dragon Age. But in this game, he's really just a myth or legend. Okay. What else do we want to do? What I actually do want to do is check skills. I need someone with survival. Does anyone have survival skills? Wynn has 1. Okay, that's alright. Yeah, kind of expected that to happen at some point. Severin, I need my lockpicker back, please. I was admittedly hoping that Severin would gain more than just 1 level.
Allow me. Hello. I could do that for you.
Lovely da. No idea which of these I just picked up. I think I've read that one. Here we go. My elf fruit. The herbalist suggested powdered brontohorn. I was very discreet. Your sunflower. Okay, I also forgot to read this earlier. The Tale of Aloran. In the days after the rising of Zazekel, the Dark Ones covered every corner of the land. The Archdemon drove all the nations of the world before him, Shemlin and Elven alike. In the far north, where the hills wander the plains and the earth is eternally baked beneath the uncaring sun, the lands which the Shemlin call Anderfels, a clan of our people lived, struggling to survive the blight. Aloran was their keeper, a hunter in his younger days, crafty as any wolf. He led the people always just ahead of the Darkspawn who chased them. But the old hunter knew that even Hala cannot run forever. They must turn and fight, or be run down. At the foot of the Murdain, the Darkspawn cornered Aloran's clan. That night the moon was strangled by clouds, the earth concealed by the dread mist that rose out of nowhere, so that the Elven could not tell up from down. In the confusion the Darkspawn attacked, but Aloran had prepared for them. All around the camp the hunters had strewn dry grass, brush, and brambles. When the sound of the rustling footfalls began, Aloran and the other Haran called upon the old magic. They struck out with lightning, and though the bolts missed the Darkspawn, they hit their targets all the same. The sea of kindling lit, and not one of the dark creatures made it through the fire to reach Aloran's clan. From the Tale of Aloran, written by Zathrian, as it has been passed down from keeper to keeper for generations. The Long Walk. And Durthaman. Okay. Durthaman, Keeper of Secrets. The twins Felondin and Durthaman are the eldest children of Elgar'nan the Allfather and Mythal the Protector. The brothers were inseparable from the moment of their conception, known for their great love for each other. That is why we often speak of Felondin in one breath and Durthaman the next, for they cannot bear to be apart, not even in our tales. When the world was young, the gods often walked the earth, and Felondin and Durthaman were no exception. Both were delighted by the many wonders of our earth. They played with the animals, whispered to the trees, and bathed in the lakes and streams. Their days were filled with bliss, and they did not know sorrow. And then one day, while passing through the forest, Felondin and Dirthman came across an old sickly deer resting beneath a tree. "Why do you sit so still, little sister?" asked Felondin. "Play with us," said Dirthman. "Alas," spoke the deer, "I cannot. I am old, and although I wish to go to my rest, my legs can no longer carry me." Taking pity on the deer, Felondin gathered her up into his arms and carried her to the rest beyond the vale. Dirthman tried to follow them, but the shifting grey paths beyond the vale would not let him. Separated for the first time from Felondin, Dirthman wandered aimlessly till he came across two ravens. "You are lost, and soon you will fade," the raven named Fear said to Dirthman. "Your brother has abandoned you. He no longer loves you," said the other, named Deceit. "I am not lost, and Felondin has not abandoned me," replied Dirthman. He subdued the ravens and bade them to carry him to Felondin. This they did, for they had been defeated and were now bound to Dirthman's service. When Dirthman found Felondin, he found also the deer, who once again was light on her feet, for her spirit was released from her weakened body. Both Felondin and Dirthman rejoiced to see this. Felondin vowed that he would remain to carry all the dead to their place beyond, just as he did the deer, and Dirthman stayed with him, for the twins cannot bear to be apart. From the story of Felondin and Dirthman, as told by Gisharl, keeper of the Ralaferan clan of the Dalish elves. And we also got the long walk. When our people left Tevinter, we had nothing except the knowledge that for the first time in countless centuries we were free. It was Shatan's dream that one day we would have our own homeland, where we could live as we choose. After the long struggle that claimed the lives of many, even Shatan himself, we were granted the Dales. And though the Dales were to the south of the land of Orlais, and a long way off from Tevinter, it mattered little. We were going home, and so we walked. We called our journey the Long Walk, for that is what it was. We walked with what little we had on our backs. Some walked without shoes, for they had none. Whole families, women and infants, and old and young alike, all of them made their way across the land on foot. And if one of our people could no longer walk, we carried him, or sometimes left him behind. Many perished along the way. Some died of exhaustion, others simply gave up and fell by the wayside. A great number were set upon by human bandits, even though we had few possessions. Along the way, a growing number began to bemoan the decision to leave Tevinter. At least in Tevinter, they said, we had food and water and shelter. But what do we have here? Nothing but the open sky and the prospect of the never-ending road ahead. Some turned back towards Tevinter, but most of us continued walking, and the gods rewarded those of us who did not waver by bringing us to the Dales. Our people called the new city Halam Shiral, the end of the journey, and for a time it was home, as told by Gisharl, keeper of the Ralaferan clan of the Dalish elves. Okay, we are getting near the end of Codex entries, but I think there's a few we still haven't got, so let's keep looking. There's Allura. I know what Allura wants. She has a quest, but we're not actually ready to do the quest yet, so I might not bother talking to her right now. We'll come back once we have the
pets, mounts, food, nighttime companions for half-blind hunters.
Got a level up for win. That's nice. And a codex. Gilleninen, mother of the Hala. They say Gilleninen was one of the people in the days before Arlathan, and the chosen of Andoril the huntress. She was very beautiful, with hair of snowy white, and as graceful as a gazelle. She kept always to Andoril's ways, and Andoril favoured her above all others. One day, while hunting in the forest, Gilleninen came across a hunter she did not know. At his feet lay a hawk, shot through the heart with an arrow. Gilleninen was filled with rage, for the hawk, along with the hare, is an animal much beloved of Andoril. Gilleninen demanded that the hunter make an offering to Andoril in exchange for taking the life of one of her creatures. The hunter refused, and Gilleninen called upon the goddess to curse him, so that he could never again hunt and kill a living creature. Gilleninen's curse took hold, and the hunter found that he was unable to hunt. His prey would dart out of sight, and his arrows would fly astray. His friends and family began to mock him for his impotence. And what use is a hunter who cannot hunt? Ashamed, the hunter swore he would find Gilleninen and repay her for what she had done to him. He found Gilleninen while she was out on a hunt with her sisters, and lured her away from them with lies and false words. He told Gilleninen that he had learned his lesson, and begged her to come with him, so that she could teach him to make a proper offering to Andoril. Moved by his plea, Gilleninen followed the hunter, and when they were away from all of her sisters, the hunter turned on Gilleninen. He blinded her first, and then bound her as one would bind a kill fresh from the hunt. And because he was cursed, the hunter could not kill her. Instead, he left her for dead in the forest. And Gilleninen prayed to the gods for help. She prayed to Elganan for vengeance, to Mother Mithal to protect her, and above all, she prayed to Andoril. Andruil sent her heirs to Gillenane, and they chewed through the ropes that bound her, but Gillenane was still wounded and blind, and could not find her way home. So Andruil turned her into a beautiful white deer, the first Hala, and Gillenane found her way back to her sisters and led them to the hunter who was brought to justice. And since that day the Hala have guided the people, and have never led us astray, for they listen to the voice of Gillenane. From the tale of Gillenane, as told by Gisharil, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. So a Hala is this beautiful deer here, and very sacred to the elves, as you can tell. Like I said, we are actually going to leave Allura alone for now, unless this level up does something I would really be happy if it did right now. Let's see, let's go 34 magic, 1 in constitution, 1 in willpower. Oh, it actually does. Okay, I want to get improved survival, and the reason for that will be clear soon. So that is actually really awesome that just happened. Kind of funny though. I am going to grab Grace, I think, actually. Yeah, let's do that. We'll grab Spell Wisp this time. Okay. So let's talk to Allura then. I wasn't going to do this, but with Wynn's level up, we got exactly what we needed.
Who comes? Oh, I beg your pardon, stranger. I was so busy attending to the Hala, I did not hear your approach.
What is a Hala?
They are the noble beasts that pull our Aravel. What humans call land ships. They are our companions and our guides.
You make them sound like friends.
That is exactly what they are, in fact. We ride the Hala, but never with reins or a saddle. It is the Hala who decide where to lead us, and our privilege that they take our Aravel with them. In return, it's the herder's job to speak to the Hala and care for their needs. It's a bond of friendship, and not servitude.
So why have you separated this one from the others?
I fear she may have been bitten during the werewolf attack. I have tried speaking with her, but she is too agitated for me to understand. The curse would not affect her as it would us, but it would still be lethal. And it may prove contagious to the other Hala as well. I can find no wound on her, but if she's truly ill, then I will have to put her out of her misery, for her sake as well as that of the others.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't know. Do you have any skills that might help her? If you do, I would be grateful.
Okay, you've got a couple of choices here. If you pretend to examine the Hala, you can convince the elf here to kill the Hala. You can convince her it's sick. That requires a persuasion check, and if you fail that persuasion check, she will refuse to speak to you, making this quest impossible to complete. If you pass it, then the Hala dies, and you get the Hala antlers, which you can take to the merchant Verathorn to turn into a ring, I believe. We're going to do the other way, so let us use survival to try and calm the Hala.
Yes, that's it. She's calming down. That's it, love. Be calm. Tell me what troubles you. Ah, I see. It is her life mate who is sick, not her. He was bitten on the leg during the attack, and she fears greatly for him. I did not realize another Hala was injured. This will allow me to prevent the sickness from spreading to the entire herd. Masiranus, thank you. You have done my clan a great boon this day. I will always be grateful for your help.
Okay, so that worked because if we look at Wynn, not that one, not that one either, that one. If we go to Wynn, she has improved survival. You need either yourself or a companion to have improved survival to pass that survival check to calm the Hala. And that's the only way to find out what's actually wrong with it. Okay, Aravels. The Dalish, who band together in small groups of blood relatives, travel in ornately carved wagons known as Aravel, drawn by large white stags called Hala. The Aravel are a unique sight, beautiful in their swooping curvature, and adorned with broad hoods of bright silken cloths that flap in the wind, often displaying the noble banners that once flew over that family's house. Most humans refer to the Aravel as landships, for in a strong wind it can often appear as if the elves travel in long boats with sails high overhead to announce their arrival, or warn others away. The Hala are unique to the elves, and any but elven handlers consider them ornery and almost impossible to train. To the Dalish, they are noble beasts, superior in breeding to the horse. Certainly most humans would agree that the Hala are as beautiful as the elves are themselves. The fact that many Imperial nobles maintain a bounty on Hala horns that they find their way into Tevinter is an affront to the Dalish consider unforgivable. Few among us can claim to have ever seen the Dalish landships up close. Any human who sees them on the horizon does well to head the other way. Few Dalish clans take kindly to humans intruding upon their camps, and more than one tale tells of troublemaking humans who found themselves mercilessly filled with Dalish arrows. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Troubles of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. And I believe we also got Codex for Hala. We did. No creature is more revered by the Dalish than the Hala. No other animal has a god of its own. These white stags are much larger than ordinary deer, and the Dalish Hala keepers carve their antlers as they grow, making them curve into intricate designs. In ancient times, these stags bore elven knights into combat, but since the fall of the Dales, they are used less as mounts and more to pull the aravals. There we go. Okay, I think I've got everything in the camp. But I am going to... Yeah, I think we do. So, I am actually going to call this episode here. It's been a lot of Codex entries today and just talking to people. Not really any combat of any kind, so it's a bit of a different episode. But I think it has been long enough. So, yep, let's finish this here. And I will see you next time for the next episode. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time.